Meghan Markle, is she finally going to make it to one of the most prestigious addresses, frankly, in the world? In fact, I'm sure you'll agree, there are only 5 big ones, perhaps in the world, that most people immediately know either by picture or address. I'm sure many people would agree that Buckingham Palace is probably one of them. And more importantly, 10 Downing Street, the home of the British Prime Minister, here in the UK, there is another one. And of course, the White House. The White House, which has been majestic for many years, has been featured in so many films, so many stories, even famous TV series. If you're thinking, if we're going to believe this, that Meghan Markle really has political ambitions, let me say a little more. What's interesting about this story, as we know, with Meghan trying out some very, very strange moments because, you have to laugh at a lot of things that, when you have a celebrity who now what? Making it. Can you do it to push it? What? What can you find? That's the problem. Now, the biggest problem for Meghan Markle, honestly, is this. His political ambitions. As we know, he has gone all out. He wrote to Congress. He tried to elevate himself alongside the likes of Michelle Obama for an ill-fated Spotify podcast. Neither of those things worked. So, Meghan and her team have found the perfect way, they believe, to ensure that Meghan's contribution to Netflix's big money deal, the millions of pounds that Netflix has given and received, isn't too much. When you consider, yes, in business events, that was a huge flop, Heart of Invictor, not too hot there. But what's interesting now is that Meghan and her team have brought this up, namely about the White House. Guess what? Featuring Meghan. That's right. This is because they feel that she should make a history of empowering women in the White House. These are all the first ladies who have gone before. Yes, Meghan, you can make this stuff, right? And then, the idea, and I got it from a source very close to the Netflix giant, that Meghan felt she could, document exactly how women are more powerful behind the throne of that president. Now, this isn't a bad idea. I think I would be interested. I think a lot of women out there would be interested, speaking out about, Roosevelt or Jackie Kennedy or, amazing women who have been part of the power behind the throne. But here's where it gets interesting, because of course, you have to always be up to date. And the thing is, obviously, Michelle Obama has very close ties to the British Empire here and has made her feelings quite clear about her stance on people like Meghan Markle. And then, further down the line, we have Joe Biden, who has clearly taken the plunge and said that he too is part of the British Empire. You see, this is one of the most famous, and in my opinion, stylish first ladies, even though we don't know too much about her or indeed see too much of her, Melania Trump. Well, as we know, Meghan herself is not a fan of the 45th President of the United States. He wasn't particularly interested in it, just for the record. Also, and as we know, Prince Harry tried his best to be a mediator and said, let's give him a chance. So, when you consider this, unless they're using pre-existing interview footage or, clips and the like, again, if you're Netflix, you're going to say, well, what's going to happen? And what kind of big event this interview? Maybe besides Kamala Harris, who, maybe someone who would sit down with Meghan as another woman of color. And then, where's this idea going? You must be wondering if you Netflix and think, okay, yeah, this isn't that bad. Then, you sit back and think, actually, this is really bad. But clearly, this is Meghan's dream. She sees this as her path to the White House. What better way than to detail the women who have gone before her?